Oh man, is it really Labor Day weekend? Someone reminded me that. I go, Labor Day weekend? Labor Day weekend. And it's funny, I guess that was important to me when I had a job, when I had a job. And, Labor Day, it's my day off, man. So what are people going to do on their day off? You know, um, but I've chosen to be in the other room, right? You got the room of people that want to kind of work their 40 years and then get to, retirement at 65, so they can have Uncle Sam give them Social Security and whatever little pension or savings that they put back, and then they get to retire at, maybe 30, 40,000 a year, if they have a spouse, because I think, what is the average Social Security? The average Social Security for a married couple household is around 34,000, I believe. So let's say just Social Security, let's just say you're making $3,000 a month on Social Security, you're on Medicare. So what else? What other benefits do you have relying on your job? Maybe you do have a pension. Maybe your pension will give you another 3, 4, 5 if you have, had a really good plan, which most people don't anymore, because you didn't work for a company for 50 years, right? 40 years, you didn't work at the same company. Now the average person changes jobs 11 times over their career. It's probably more now, because that was back when I was a recruiter 20 years ago. So it's probably more times now. 11 times is nothing, probably 20, it's probably double that. And then, so you're in that room of those people. What's the other room? Well, the other room, not necessarily a better room, are people that have the desire to break out of that room. So they go into this other room, which is entrepreneurial room, which is, 100% commission, which is, the people that are working and doing 100% commission, or, building a business, that's that room. And, they apply, they kind of start and stop, and they just have never really committed other than just dipping their toe in it or not being fully vested, or there's a lot of fear holds them back. And then there's the other room, okay? And so this room has people that know that I can't settle for the job thing. I can't spin my wheels, getting ready to get ready. I'm committing to being different than all these other people. And so this other room is 100% commitment, investing yourself in, number one, something that hopefully you love to do, something that drives you, something that provides way more than these other rooms. It's the room of the committed for their dream, and it doesn't depend on having a day off called Labor Day, Memorial Day, Columbus Day, or what's it called, President's Day. Columbus Day, I guess they're probably going to change that because people don't like Columbus very much. Well, that guy, poor guy, they put a bunch of stuff on him. If you go on to Columbus Life, you should go to Columbus Life website, and they defend Columbus. But anyway. So the other room is the room that I choose to be in, where I'm not working, 100 hours a week, right? I am working, but I'm working focused on, and I love it. I love what I'm doing. I love leaving here at 10 p.m. Well, my kids are pretty much out of the house. Okay, so when I had kids at home, I wasn't leaving here at 10 p.m. I'd leave here at 6, go home, hang out with the kids, have dinner, and then I'd come back to the office, and then I'd build my business, right? Because I loved it. I love what I was doing. Well, what was the alternative? Watch TV. See, you know what I'm saying? Like, when you think about what it is you do, well, what do you measure yourself against? Are you measuring yourself those other people that come home from work, they leave work right at 5 p.m., they come home, grab a beer, kick their legs up until wife says, hey, dinner time, go grab dinner, then sit in front in the ambitious boy lounger and watch TV until they go to bed at 10, 11 p.m. Then they get up in the morning, get ready for work, go to work, knock off at 5, come back home, grab a beer, sit in the ambitious boy lounger, wait for the call to dinner. You know, the feeding trough is ready, the spouse says, goes, eats dinner, comes back, watches TV until 11. Okay, so this is just Monday and Tuesday. You know what he does Wednesday? He gets up, gets ready for work, goes to work, looks at the watch until it's 5. 5 o'clock, he knocks off. He comes home, grabs a beer, sits in the ambitious boy lounger, kicks back, waits for the call to dinner, eats dinner, comes back. This time it's Wednesday, so there's something important on Wednesday. So he takes dinner to his tray in front of his lounger so he can watch TV while he's eating dinner. And then, you know, honey, can you take this back, you know, to the kitchen? And then, you know, extends the ambitious boy lounger, watches TV till about 11, goes to bed. You know what he does on Thursday? On Thursday, he gets up, gets ready for work, goes to work. At 5 o'clock, he knocks off, comes home, grabs a beer, sits in the ambitious boy lounger, waits for the call to dinner, eats some dinner, comes back, watches TV, waits till 11 o'clock, boom, he's tired, goes to bed. And then what happens? Friday comes. Thank God it's Friday. You know what he does on Friday? He's excited because then he's going to get the next 2 days off, right, where he can do exactly what he does from 5 p.m. to 11 p.m., except he gets to do it from whenever he wakes up, 9, 10, noon on Saturday, and goes to bed at 11 watching TV all day, or college football, or if he's got to do the lawn. Am I resonating with anybody? Like, I hope you guys left that life in the rearview mirror, right? Because maybe you were that person. I was that person. Except I wasn't satisfied being that person until I decided, man, I got more in me. God gave me more in me. I need to achieve something in my life. I need to do something more than what these people are doing. You know what? We need people like that to have jobs. And we need people like that to keep the economy going because, you know, they feed the economy because they go to Walmart, right? They buy stuff. And when you buy stuff, then it feeds the economy. I mean, you all go back to your economics class, right? It's the money multiplier that gets circulated in the economy. You know, we need those people. But I didn't want to be that person waiting around for retirement, right? So here's the problem, okay? The problem is you move from that room where you decide you want a better life and you go into the other room where you think you want a better life. The problem with thinking you want a better life is that, you know, see, the problem is you're learning what you need to do to get into the other room. But the problem is, well, you don't know, but you're learning. And then once you know, then there's a problem. The problem is you deciding to do what you need to do to get into the other room, right? The room of the committed, the room of the people that just hair on fire, do anything they can do to make their dreams happen, right? You know people like that, don't you, right? So the question is, where are you in this scenario? Are you in, you know, still working a job? Obviously you're on this call, so, you know, there's something you're doing that's in this room, right? You know, so what holds you back from going from the, I think I really want to change my life, to being in the room of the committed? You know, what's holding you back, right? Because you know what you need to do, but what has held you back from doing? There's a lot of things that have held you back, you know, but what's interesting is all those things are things that you can overcome. Those are things that you can break out of that. It's just, you know, it's really a decision away. It's a decision to change your life, you know. And here's the thing I've noticed. Actually, I'm going to get to what I really want to talk about. But here's the thing I noticed. I noticed that there's a lot of people that want things done for them, right? They're waiting for the handout. They're waiting for the help, and the help is there, but they don't recognize the help. And part of it too is they don't do what they said they do with the help they've been given, right? Do you know people like that, where you give them help to get them out of their situation and they just sit on the help? They don't do what they said they're going to do with your advice, with your money, with your investment, with the help that you provided, and they didn't do anything. You ever have anyone like that, where you help them out, right? And then you see them continuing to struggle, and all they had to do was call the leads. All they had to do was work. All they had to do was what they knew that they had to do and what they promised you would do when you invested in them, And it's like, man, this must be in a small way the way that God feels when he blessed you with all these talents and abilities and made you in his own image, but you become not what you could have become, right? The dream he had for you, the best version of yourself he had for you. And I know that feeling. See, God has a different way of looking at it. I'm a human being, right? And so if I try to bet on somebody and my investment in them doesn't pan out, I'm probably very reluctant to ever invest in them again, because, show me, don't snow me. Unfortunately for me, this is maybe a flaw of mine. I only give people one chance. The most I think I've ever given is two. And then I'm pulling out, man. I'm pulling out. I'll give you my time. I will counsel you what you need to do. But as far as putting my money into it, it's like, you're never going to see another dime from me, man. I'm like, seriously, never again. I'll be nice about it. I'll tell you what Andy Albright tells people, right? I'll do the Andy Albright thing. But I won't ever say, well, what the heck did you do with those leads I gave you? What the heck did I do with that investment I made in you? I'll never say that. I'll never say, I'd say, rock on, man, fired up for you, And I'm thinking, man, God has much more mercy than I do. He always gives you a chance, but I'm in my frail human side. I won't. I can't, I don't have it in me, man. I forgive. Okay, but I forgive emotionally, I forgive as a human being, but I don't forget, and I won't make another bad bet, right? I won't make another bad bet. So why am I talking this about on a builder's call? It's like, man, you got to know where you can put your money, right? And it's okay to bet on somebody, but if it doesn't pan out, it doesn't pan out. They're not they end up not being the person you should have bet on. They might be down the road, but they're going to have to prove down the road that is the person that you should bet on, right? And so how do you know that? Well, it's like, by what they do. You shall know them by their fruit, right? How they produce fruit. Are they, in motion? Are they doing something? And even then, man, for me, it's got to take more than that. There's got to be more than that for me. I don't know why. I think that's probably, again, but when you're building a business, you only have a certain amount of resources to invest, right? So you got to know what's going to give you the greatest return. And sometimes you lose, sometimes you win, but overall, the strategy is to win more than you lose, right? So there's inherent within that, there's going to be a losing part of that bet, but you have to lose in order to figure out the thing that you will gain from. So whether it's talking about leads, right? Like my bet on these leads didn't work out, but you know what? I learned a lot from that. Okay, and maybe I didn't give it enough of a chance. Okay, but maybe it's time to move on, right? Now here's the issue with that. If you find that you invest in this lead program, it's not working. Invest in this lead program, not working. This lead program's not working. This lead program's not working. This lead program's not working. But you know that there are people that are successfully using those different lead programs. well, then eventually you're going to have to come around to the decision that, maybe it's not the lead program. You know what I mean? Maybe it's looking at the man or woman in the mirror and figuring out, gosh, they're just, there's something wrong here, right? So you got to know how to troubleshoot that, right? You got to know, you got to figure out what's holding me back. Where am I stuck in the cycle? Where am I stuck in the cycle? I think a lot of it's fear. I'm uncomfortable. I'm uncomfortable. Here's my message to when you say you're uncomfortable. What that means is that you desire to stay comfortable. Okay, do you understand the language problem with that? We're so limited by the language we speak. Like, I'm a big NLP guy, neuro-linguistic programming. I'm big on hung by the tongue, which is biblical. That you're hung by the tongue, the words come out of your mouth limit you, right? Your words don't come back void, okay? So when you say, I'm uncomfortable, and you don't make a decision to do that which is uncomfortable, then you've limited yourself to staying comfortable, okay? But Alex, I don't want to stay where I'm at because that's uncomfortable too. Being broke and not having money, having your water turned off, having your electricity turned off, having stuff turned off, And what's really crazy is you possess the talent and abilities and the opportunity to not be in that situation. But when you're in that situation, by your actions, you tell me that you're comfortable being uncomfortable in that situation. Does that make sense? So it's kind of like, the guy that comes up to the farmer on a porch and his dog's, whoa, he's howling. Whoa. And, the guy comes up to the farmer, he says, why is your dog howling? He goes, well, my California accent, right? My dog's laying on a nail. Well, how come he doesn't move? And the farmer says, well, he's not uncomfortable enough to get off the nail, right? So it's kind of interesting when you think about, if you're satisfied being broke and not having the money to do what you want to do and being miserable, and obviously you're comfortable enough to stay there, as opposed to getting out of your comfort zone and moving out and doing things that we're recommending, doing things that are uncomfortable, but which uncomfortable would you rather do? I mean, you're obviously comfortable being uncomfortable, being financially challenged in so many areas. And here we are with an opportunity, and all you have to do is just make a decision. The bill of the vault is what it takes to make a decision in your head to move to where you're uncomfortable, but you're changing your financial situation. So my question for y'all is, where are you? What room are you in? What room are you striving to be in? And then you tell me that, and then I will ask you, well, tell me what you did in the last 7 days from we had this call last week. What did you do to change your situation? And a lot of you will show me that tell me that you're out of your comfort zone. You're doing stuff that's not comfortable, but you're still doing stuff, right? And y'all know, because I know that feeling. I know that feeling where it's a decision where, what, I could be dialing right now. And then you figure out a reason not to do what you need to do. And you rationalize it, right? Some of y'all rationalize it, why you should not do it, right? And I know that feeling, because when you rationalize not doing it, then you're back in your comfort zone doing nothing. And what you do is you justify it. You justify it by organizing. Well, Alex, I wanted to just kind of organize my office, and I'm going to put this thing here. I'm going to do this here. I'm going to get my calendar together, and I'm just going to organize. And, it's like, rock on, man. How long is that? How long is that going to take? Well, I don't know, a couple days. Well, 2 weeks later, 3 weeks later, right? You're still organizing, because otherwise, because I don't know what you're doing. I don't know what you're doing, because you're not asking me about, okay, I need to get a lead game plan. I need to get a bunch of leads, and, where can I go? I can't afford leads right now, but I'll take whatever free lead you can give me. Okay, let's do it. Okay, I don't get that. So I just assume you're doing what you were doing, which is organizing. You're getting ready to get ready, So anyway, does that make sense? I don't know if that's making any sense to you. Just kind of a thought in my head when I think about, when you hold back from moving forward, because we've got just such a tremendous business. I mean, when you think about all the things we have, it's like crazy. All the stuff we have, man, I'm just so fired up. So that's what drives me, is that, it's getting better and better, whether you know it or not. It really is getting better and better. We've got some really cool things going on.